Let's do this. The Cult of Hockey podcast by the faithful and for the faithful. I'm David Staples of the Edmonton Journal, and I'm here tonight with Kurt Leavins, coming to us tonight from the power outage on Pender Island. Welcome, Kurt.
Man, I tell you, this soup can and string power system we have out here sometimes isn't conducive to talking about hockey. But hey, the Oilers came up with by far their best performance of the postseason to date tonight.
A 4-1 win, Kurt. It was their best. It was their best game, and just to highlight that actually the grade A shots in the game were even. They were 12 each, but the subset of 5 alarm shots, the high danger shots, were 9-4 for the Oilers. They stomped the Ducks in this game, and in the first 4 games, Edmonton, even in the game they won, they had never yet had more high danger shots in a game than the Ducks did. This is the first game they did that. They did it emphatically. The first 4 games were 42-24 for the Ducks, that's just total domination. And there's a sign of real life here, Kurt. Like it's fascinating, but I was not expecting the Oilers to win tonight, and they just came and played the way I thought they would play from the start of the series, quite honestly. I thought this is the team we'd see right from the start, and they finally got it together and they got it done.
You know, I thought that they scored early and defended consistently. And I thought those were the 2 keys. I'll save my other key for when we get to my good things. But when you score early and defend consistently, you're going to win in this league a lot.
A lot went right for the Oilers, and it came off a really solid defensive effort. I've talked before how a good game for the Oilers is when they give up about 12 grade A shots, which is exactly the number, and fewer than 6 high danger shots, and they had 4. This was the first time they met that test in the playoffs. They're going to have to meet it the next 2 games to beat the Ducks. Kurt, let's get at it. 2 good things, 2 bad things, and 2 numbers. What is your good thing?
My good thing is the 4th goal. The Oilers got off to a 3-0 lead. Anaheim had by far the majority of shots on net after that 3-0 lead, although I will argue that the Oilers defended well and kept a lot of that to the outside, and score effects was certainly in effect in this game, which was affecting that statistic. But when they got it to 3-1, then a little bit of doubt starts to keep in your mind, because these Anaheim Ducks they are not afraid, man. They've got a lot of piss and vinegar, and they're one of the best teams in the league at coming back from deficits. So when they scored the 3-1, it's like, oh, geez, what's going on here? So the 4-1 power play goal was massive. It restored that 3-goal gap, and the Oilers maintained that until the final buzzer. So the significance of the goal itself is half of the reason why I picked it for my good thing. But there's 2 specific plays on that goal that I want to really highlight. First of all, there was Bouchard's play at the line, which was, you know what? He sometimes gets criticized for giveaways, and people like me say, yeah, but 9 times out of 10, he makes that play. And tonight, he made that play under pressure. Terrific, like spectacular play at the line to keep the puck in and move the puck low. So that's one thing. The other thing, we all wondered as Leon Draisaitl was coming back from that knee injury, how it would affect his one-timer. Because there's a lot of torque that goes into that shot. And if you're on one knee, it's pretty difficult to get the same quality shot away. Well, that was his patented one-timer from the kill zone. Maybe not quite as close to the goal line as we sometimes see him score from, but he just battered that home. There was no question that puck was going in. So huge power play goal at a critical time in the game when the momentum easily could have swung, and massive plays by 2 of your very best players on the play. Bouchard and Draisaitl, and of course McDavid got an assist on the play as well. That's my good thing.
Draisaitl, I don't think had gotten off a really good one-timer shot in the first 4 games.
Fair.
And when that's missing from the Oilers power play, they had scored at a decent clip, but when that's missing, The power play is just not close to the same. And I wonder if the coach put the two players together in the hopes they get maybe an even strength one as well. They're much he gets most of his one timers um, at even strength. But so that was fantastic. Bouchard's line play, and Bouchard he played so well that even Kevin Bieksa had to admit that if you watch this player closely, you actually see he does a lot of really incredibly good things under pressure in the playoffs.
Really,
You
Kevin?
finally realize that, Bieksa, you
Love
dim.
Ken.
He's such a smart guy, but his take on Bouchard has been less than impressive, quite honestly.
It's because he couldn't do it when he played. I'm convinced that players are hard on skilled players. Grinders are hard on skilled players because they've never had the raw talent to do what those guys can do.
Yeah, he didn't even know that Bouchard killed penalties. I mean, when he was talking about him earlier, a few weeks ago.
That was a pretty
Anyway,
dim criticism from him.
Anyway, he did come around tonight. Not surprisingly, I mean, Bouchard's pass on the first goal, it was one of those ones where I stopped the play and I called for my wife to come and watch the play because it's such a fantastic pass. That was such a brilliant pass by Bouchard.
Was indeed.
Pick Podkolzin. And then on the other goal, Draisaitl scored too, Kurt. That was a great pass. Just, down to the side of the crease, and Draisaitl just tips it in. Just such a calm, smart, excellent player. What a hockey player.
Yep.
My good thing, there's been a lot of Oilers forwards, Kurt, who have yet to bring, who before tonight had yet to bring anything close to their A game.
Yeah, agreed.
There's still a few. But two are off the schneid, as Jack would say, in terms of bringing close to their A game. I don't know if Zach Hyman and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins are there yet, but that was a very promising game for those two guys. And interesting, I give credit to Knobloch. You might wonder why he didn't. I like the Capit and Draisaitl Podkolzin line was going so well that I can see why he didn't go to this earlier. But Nugent Hopkins played really well in the playoffs last year, especially when he was teamed up with Hyman and Evander Kane on a line in the Dallas series. And then he continued his really good play in the finals, Nugent Hopkins did. So far this playoffs, he's been like weak, like bad.
Below average, I'd say. Yep.
But tonight, he was really good. And Hyman was really good. And together with Podkolzin, they were really good. Like that line, they scored. I don't know who was exactly out there. I think Podkolzin was actually out with Doc and Lazar for the first goal. The other guys might have just switched on at the end there, but it's just shortly after that when the Hyman had his first good play just a few seconds after that first goal by Podkolzin. He won a neutral zone battle off the boards and sent Podkolzin in, and he put a backhander off the post. Then we see 3 minutes after that, there was a really great cycle play between Wallman, Hyman, and Nugent Hopkins, where Nugent Hopkins put one off the post. Podkolzin was screening the goalie on that one. Then comes the next goal, and Nugent Hopkins gets the puck and manages to force it on net. And Podkolzin, I don't know if it was a dummy where he was trying, where he faked a tip and let it go through to Hyman, or if he just missed it. I'm still not certain, but Hyman didn't miss it and tipped it in. So that was a great goal for him. What do you think? A dummy play or
yeah, it's a good question. I really don't know which it was. That's a reasonable question. I agree with you that both Hyman and Hopkins had their best postseason games to date. I thought Ryan Nugent-Hopkins was particularly good. I graded him a 7 tonight. On the 1-0 goal, it was that puck battle in the neutral zone.
Mm-hmm.
On the 2-0, it was intercepting that errant puck and getting that really quick shot on net that didn't allow Dostal to get set, and I think that's why that Hyman tip went through 5-hole. And that McDavid Bouchard break on later in the game, that was Nugent Hopkins that started that deep in his own zone. Really smart stick in the third period. He was 63% on the dot. This is the Nuge that you know and love, and they need this guy. With a lot of their centers compromised with injuries, they need Nugent Hopkins to step up, and he certainly did tonight. Hyman was way better. I think he's far from 100% physically, but he certainly ground this one out and was effective.
He um, almost scored on the power play. McDavid set him up with a really great chance early in the second. And then Hyman made a great backhand pass through the crease to Draisaitl, and Draisaitl almost scored late in the second on the power play, and then he scored like 15 seconds later on the yield executioner's shot. So that's really encouraging, Kurt. If they found another line, because the McDavid line wasn't producing on
Sure
the attack.
wasn't. Nope.
With Kapanen and Draisaitl and McDavid, they can produce, and they did produce. Mm-hmm. So now they've got another line with Nugent Hopkins, Hyman, and Podkolzin. So that's two dangerous lines. It transforms the team, and it's what you need, what they're going to need. Like I'm still, clearly still players are wounded out there, and you can see it in their game. So I'm still skeptical, only because of that. I mean, it's just such a shame that this has been such a factor in the playoffs this year.
Well, Kurt, as we know, McDavid was a game time decision. So is Jason Dickinson. And I'll point out that Jason Dickinson, who is also clearly compromised tonight, did not allow a single high danger scoring chance against 5-on-5, which is exactly why you traded for that guy.
Man, they need him because, Roslovic, I thought, had a better game tonight. He was blocked shot. He was physical. Like he's getting in the playoff groove. Mm-hmm. But Dickinson's carrying that line. Although Roslovic was pretty good tonight as well.
Roslovic was better tonight.
Yeah.
My bad thing is the fourth line, and I could just pick on the younger players, but I'll actually point out an issue with all three of these guys. And they were using this fourth line a lot. And my perception, David, was that they didn't want to overuse McDavid in particular down the stretch with a lead because they just don't want him any more hurt than he already is. And I think that's smart, right? But you know what? In that third period, early in the third period, Curtis Lazar gets the puck almost to the attacking blue line and doesn't get it deep. Curtis Lazar, you are in this game to make that play. Right? Lazar was pretty decent all game, but that was like, come on, Curtis Lazar, what are you thinking? That's the entire reason why you're in the lineup right now. Josh Szymanski, unforced icing in the third period. He had way more time than he thought he did, rushed the play and ended up icing it. Colton Dach, it was his interference penalty, totally unnecessary interference penalty in the offensive zone that eventually led to the 3-1 power play goal against. So all three guys, and Lazar was a little better, but all three of these guys had real issues. And what you need from a fourth line in a playoff series like this is nothing. Like, they need to give up nothing. If you get nothing from them, fine. They can't give up anything. And particularly Szymanski and Lazar, protecting a lead made plays that you can't make when you're protecting a lead. For Szymanski, this is 2 bad games in a row for him. I'd pull him. And I know there's a lot of people that aren't Trent Frederick fans out there. At this point, I'll have Trent Frederick, thanks. Lots of people in oil country excited about the rookie. I'm excited about Josh Szymanski too. But I'm not sure that game 6 is his time. So that was my bad thing.
I thought Dach and Szymanski and my bad thing, Matt Savoy, the 3 young guys were the 3 weakest Oilers players by far.
Yeah, and I failed Savoy, Szymanski, and Dach.
The moment was too big for each of them. Yep. And Dach was weak at covering the point. He was by far the weakest Oiler. He allowed 2 point shots that were dangerous. One of them really dangerously tipped by VL. Wasn't really remarked on during the game because it was quite a quick play. And then he also went. Granlund moved in for a really dangerous shot in the second, and that was Dach. He looked off that man when there was no one there to cover him. Like he allowed Granlund to walk right in.
Yes.
So he not great. And Szymanski, yeah, anyway, you've covered them. I'm going to talk about Matt Savoy.
Okay.
he was running around tonight, including on the penalty kill. And I
Mhm.
felt he was primarily responsible for the penalty kill goal against. He
100% agree.
he Murphy made like a great play to
Mhm.
pop the puck, and then there was a bad bounce where it went right back to the guy that Murphy had knocked it off his stick. Like that's just a tough play for Murphy. Like he didn't
Yep.
win the battle in the end, but so the puck is then put back into the crease, and at this point it's a 3-on-2 rush. Why is it a 3-on-2 rush? Because Curtis Lazar in the neutral zone has moved up like you should. There should be one man high and three guys back at least.
Mhm.
Savoy's also up high. He's almost even with
Oh,
Savoy with Lazar in the neutral zone. I'm thinking, I had to watch the play a lot, like to figure out how did that guy get so wide open. Like, was it Nurse's fault? No, Nurse was actually with his another guy who was rushing in, but
yep.
some but Savoy had wandered out too high in the neutral zone, like 5 to 10 feet too far out, and he didn't read it. And so then he's out of position when there's a stretch pass up. It's a 3-on-2, and it's his guy who scores.
Mhm.
And in the third period, he on this late in the game in the third, the Oilers had a handy lead by then, but it was still pretty nervous time. And twice he lost battles. He had turnovers in his own end with the puck on his stick twice in a row, where he
Mhm.
lost the puck. Once he made it like a smart hockey player who's good with the puck. He just threw it around the boards without looking to the other side, and it was picked off, and they kept it in the Oilers' end. He has really struggled in these playoffs, and it's not unusual for smaller players and rookies to struggle. So you know, it's not like he gets a pass because this is the NHL and these are the playoffs.
Mhm.
He's got to play better, and he's got to stop running around. He's got to start using. He's a smart hockey player, and he's a smart hockey player, Kurt, who in this game didn't play smart, and it
Yep.
cost his team badly because that goal was huge. The 3-1 goal for the Ducks, they could have come storming back.
Yep.
Like you say,
Consequential.
the timing of that power play goal for the Oilers was crucial.
Mhm.
So he's got to play better and he's got to get it together. So, we've been saying the same things about players like Nugent Hopkins, Roslovic, Hyman, Nurse. Get it together. Play better. Like this is the job right now. No excuses. Doesn't matter if you're smaller. Doesn't matter if you're a rookie. Play better. And it's just unfortunate that the Oilers don't have it. Like they're so banged up that Henrique and Jones are missing because they can't replace some of these players who need some replacing right now.
Matt Savoy, for so much of this season, and particularly down the stretch, didn't play like a rookie, didn't look like a rookie.
No.
But the one play I watched tonight, where he got the puck along the wall, panicked, threw the puck away, and then got dropped on his ass
By Truba, yeah.
um, by Trouba on the same play. And when I watched that, I thought that looks like a rookie play. And
Yeah.
I like the young man. I have all kinds of time for him. I think he'll be a really good Edmonton Oiler for years to come. But the moment looks big for him right now, doesn't it, David?
And I would say the same about Doc and Samansky. Like these are three players who we've all been excited about, and
Mm-hmm.
all we've praised them on the podcast. But tonight they really looked out of their element. And the only good news that I could think of, Kurt, was the Ducks have a lot of young players.
They do.
The Ducks have a lot of young guys, and as the pressure turns up in these playoffs, um, maybe they're going to be the ones who start showing their rookie colors. And I think we saw some of that tonight. I mean, Seneca is just a driving force out there. He's a beast. But maybe we'll see that with some of the players. The Oilers still have a lot of broken bodies out there, and they don't have healthy troops to send in, right? So I'm still like, I don't have my hopes high, but that was maybe the Ducks might start to show the pressure in Anaheim, which is going to be a super tough game.
Well, I don't know what you think, David. I think the majority of the pressure is now on the Ducks.
Yeah,
I think so.
everyone was expecting the Oilers to lose. They have an excuse too, like they're all injured, right? Like their
Yep.
stars are banged up. So it really comes down to Kurt whether they can beat them. Is like I've been saying this for the past since Game 3 is the Oilers are too beaten up to win this series. But if they can get healthier as it goes along, and this is something I don't know, like are McDavid and Dickinson Draisaitl, Hyman getting better, or are they getting worse, or are they staying the same? If they can start incrementally getting healthier, as sometimes happens, right, when players come back from injury and they get healthier and they get better, and I just don't know what the situation is in that regard. Dickinson's looked good the entire time, so he
Yeah,
only played 10 minutes though, Kurt. Like he didn't play a ton, and I think that's also
yeah,
why. Did he play in the? I'm wondering if he play in the third. I'm starting to wonder.
he did. Yep,
Okay,
yep.
Kurt,
See,
go
to
ahead.
my eye, Draisaitl's the guy who is getting better. I think he's getting healthier, and that's predictable, right? Because he's coming back from an injury.
Yeah,
I think McDavid and Dickinson are hanging in there. In Dickinson's case, I believe firmly it's a pain issue, David.
yeah,
Um, I think that's what it is with him, and if that's the case, then you're having to medicate yourself to get through games, and that has other effects on you, right? So
yeah.
that's kind of the way I read it.
All right, Kurt. What is your numero?
23. Leon Draisaitl's power play goal tonight was the 23rd of his Stanley Cup playoff career, tying him all time for the Oilers' lead in postseason power play
Let me
goals.
guess. Glenn Anderson?
Hmm.
Is he tied with Glenn Anderson?
I believe it's Glenn Anderson.
I'm just guessing. I don't know. It could be Curry, but Anderson had a way of scoring power play goals. Kurt, my number is 3-0. 3
3-0.
defensemen on the Oilers kept clean sheets at even strength. They didn't make one single mistake on a grade A shot against. And those 3 players are Ty Emberson, who played 10-16.
Didn't play much. Played almost not at all in the second period.
Jake Wallman, who played 15-24 and has been the Oilers' best defenseman probably in the playoffs. Yeah, he has been because he's bringing defense and offense. And then quickly becoming my favorite one, Connor Murphy, 1956, Kurt, tough minutes, and he made not one mistake on a grade A shot against.
Cool.
Connor Murphy is the only Oilers defenseman who I feel completely safe with on the ice right now. I was just, I like this Oilers team in a lot of ways. I just think they're like one Chris Russell away from being like a solid defensive team.
Cowboy.
Yeah, they just all of their other defensemen, because Ekholm has been making the odd mistake and getting caught out a little bit, and Bouchard is Bouchard, Nurse is Nurse in the playoffs. There's always a little bit of stuff going on. But this guy Murphy, what a great defensive defenseman.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you just know he's going to make the solid play out there. He's always in position. He's fearless. I think he had like 4 block shots, and he took one right off the hand. That was a pass or a block shot, like where he got hurt. I was so glad when he came back, because you cannot lose Connor Murphy.
No.
He is the bedrock right now of this Oilers defensive effort. He is their best defensive player, and it's not close. And I wish they had 1 or 2 more like him, honestly.
A couple things. First of all, it's Draisaitl and Gretzky are tied with 23 postseason power play goals. But our guess was pretty good, because Curry and Anderson both have 22. So we weren't far wrong. But it's Wayne and Leon at the top with 23 postseason power play goals. On Murphy, of the 3 guys we got from the Blackhawks, he's the guy that I think it's most important that the Oilers retain for next season. I like all 3 guys, right? But organizationally, the Oilers have lots of players up front, but they don't have much on the blue line. At this point, I think bringing back Connor Murphy would be a very wise move.
I hope they can bring him back on like a 2-year deal. He is an older
2-year.
defenseman.
I was thinking 2 years as well.
Yeah, that'd be really great if he wants to come back. And Dickinson is he's a big center. Szymanski's probably ready to step up though, right, by next year. So you
See,
have to,
that's my point, right? There's organizational depth at center where there isn't on defense.
yeah. They just like it's going to be like, what else can they use the money for? There's lots of questions around that we
Mm-hmm.
haven't had time to sort out, and what the needs are and who's going to move on. If let's say Roslovic, he's trended upwards in these playoffs. I'll say, let's say he keeps trending upward, and like because to me at this point, it would be we got Ike Howard and Quinn Hudson. We can't afford you. But if you continue to trend up, then you just never know. So we'll see about that. And
Yeah, so
Kapanen's another guy, right? Like
Captain, I would totally bring back. I don't think there's even any question
well,
about
he's
that.
a UFA, and there's going to be teams that are watching this. They're going to think, yeah, he'd be good with us. But hopefully,
But he also has a history, right?
he does. Hopefully, he won't make the Clean Costin decision.
No kidding. So you mentioned the defensemen. I did think all six Oilers defensemen played pretty well tonight. I thought it was a pretty good effort on all
It
their
was.
behalfs. I liked Murphy's effort as much as I like yours. The first pairing, big bounce back after a frankly bad game four.
Yeah, yeah. Alrighty, Kurt. Any other thoughts? Anything? Oh, I just wanted to ask you quickly. There was a bit of a like you nailed it when you suggested that Bob Stauffer right after the game.
Mm.
He said Ingram will be back, which surprised me. I mean, and Kelly Harudi and Ron McLean on Hockey Night in Canada both said, well, Jari's going to be back in the next game, obviously. And that's what I thought, too, in the moment.
Yeah.
But Ingram was in the game, and he was really good. It was his best game. He was really, I mean, he only let him one goal. He didn't have as many shots, like just 4 or 5 alarm shots. Like it makes a difference, shot quality.
Was way better with rebounds.
One of the things, Steve Valiquette was on the Real Kipper and Bourne show. Steve Valiquette, former NHL goalie, an analytics expert. I think the best analytics expert who understands hockey analytics better than anyone else and is able to talk about them in a comprehensible way. He said he thought Jari was lazy. That might be putting words in his mouth. He didn't. He said he didn't think Jari worked hard enough to track the play in that game. He said when you saw the puck moving from point to point, he wasn't getting quickly in front, moving his feet. So when a shot came, his skates, his toe caps weren't facing right at the shooter. He didn't see Jari working hard enough, in his opinion, to get. Now that said, Jari made a lot of really great saves, but that was an interesting comment, and I wonder if the Oilers. Listen, there's been a lot of bad vibes around Jari, not working hard enough in practice, and this kind of criticism. I wonder if the Oilers have the same opinion as Valiquette, if he's saying what the insiders have been saying.
Look, I didn't hear exactly what he said, so I'm not going to take specific issue with it. But what I did notice that Jari was really good at was dealing at shots through traffic. Like he was way better at shots through traffic than Connor Ingram was in the previous 2 games. And for that reason, I thought they might keep him in. Frankly, the Oilers didn't allow a lot of traffic in front tonight. It's the defensemen boxed their guys out, did a way better job of that tonight. And I think when Ingram can see the puck, he'll stop the puck.
Yeah. I can't say that I saw what Valiquette saw, but I'm not an expert on goalies. What I saw was a goalie make a lot of really, like, just get peppered with 12 5 alarm shots and 20 grade A shots in total.
Thought he gave him a chance to win, right?
He gave him a chance to win. I thought he was pretty good. Like he had a good game. So I didn't. Yeah. But anyway, I just thought that was interesting because this is someone who understands goaltending at a whole different level than I do, and I will. If he says that's what happened, I will take that as fact over anything I would say. So.
And the funny thing in Ingram tonight, he only allowed 1 goal, but I graded him an 8 because, frankly, outside of a couple dangerous shots, I thought he saw everything tonight, and I thought the guys defended really good in front of him. And I kind of saved 9s and 10s for, wow, you stole this game.
Yeah,
right? And I didn't think he did that.
That was a 7. I agree, Kurt. That was a good game, but there wasn't a lot of traffic.
Yeah,
and there wasn't a lot of high danger shots. There was just
he stopped what the team needed him to stop.
And the 1 goal that did go in was a 5 alarm shot. So
for sure, I didn't fault him on it all. So
that was a very, very dangerous moment. Okay, Kurt, I think we can leave it there. Next game is Thursday night.
Thursday night, Game 6, back in California, scene of the crime.
Wow. All righty. Kurt, thanks for talking tonight.
Thanks, David.
And thank you to the smartest, wisest, sanest hockey fans in the world, the faithful. And in the meantime and in between time, this has been another edition of the Cult of Hockey podcast.